Hello everybody, hope you're doing well today. Here's my second vlog of an upper body workout that I'm doing. I do apologize for the orange and blue get up as well as the tucked in hoodie. It does change later. So you can see here I'm doing some hangs with some scapular pull-ups at the moment. Hangs have been shown to be incredibly effective for mobility and just general shoulder health. You can also see here that I'm doing some like hip twisting. Obviously you can't see my hips twisting, but you can kind of get the point. So twisting side to side gets a good back crack. Here I'm doing what I call upper body plyometrics, which I think everyone should try and do at some point during their workouts. We do lower body, do upper body. Straight arm, bent arm, and then I do overhead as well. So same sort of thing that you'd be working on with a lower body plyometric, just teaching your body to get used to the feeling of those different stresses on the tendons and the muscles. Okay, so the next thing we're moving on to is just some shoulder rotations using a plate. You can use a kettlebell, a medicine ball. Plate seems to work alright. You'll see I do knock my head a couple times doing these. Again, this is all just part of my warm-up for my actual lifts. So, as I said last time, your warm-up, you want to warm your muscles up. You want to get heat into them. And you also want to warm up your tendons and work on mobility as well. So I like to do a little bit of everything in my warm-ups. And as I said in my last video, they change. They're never normally the same. For upper body, I'll always probably do a hang, but everything else will generally change. It might be different. Sometimes I like to add in bear crawls and different crawling variations because they're awesome for shoulder health and core stability and all those different things. Here, I've got some stick rotations or dislocations. So I do two versions, the standard version and I flip it so I'm like internally rotated. Again, this is just getting movement in the shoulder. That one's really weird. If you deal with shoulder pain, maybe don't try it. Just wait until you can do the first one pretty well. Next thing I'm doing is this thoracic spine stretch, so and tricep. So basically I'm using the box as an anchor. I'm trying to get my spine to extend. And I'm actively pushing with my elbows, which is going to engage my triceps and my lats and make it a PNF or an active stretch. The next thing I'm doing is, this is my first actual exercise. This is just a med ball throw. This is my power exercise of the day. Exploding, trying to push that med ball as high as I can. So today is a strength and power workout for my upper body. I've got my barbell complex. I don't film the whole thing because it takes way too long, but you can see I've got my RDLs. I do my bent over rows. I believe I also do my shrugs, and then I do a couple cleans in this video, but I also still do my shoulder press as well and some squats. Again, this changes equipment wise and the exercises I use. You can kind of muck around with them a little bit. Do it with a kettlebell, do it with dumbbells. Instead of doing shrugs, maybe do an upright row if you want to, or kind of whatever you want. Do lunges, you do a clean and jerk. You can obviously increase weight. I'm feeling pretty fatigued as of late, so I've been decreasing the weight I've been using for these. First set of bench for a warm-up with the bar. You'll see that I do these weird little, I guess like, it kind of almost looks like you're rowing, but like single arm bench presses. Not any particular reason I do these other than it's a bit different, bit of variety, and it feels a bit weird. Not in a bad way, but just it's different. Then you'll see that I do rep out some normal reps as well. So again, warm up with some light sets before your actual working sets. Get your body used to it. I'm doing half reps here. Again, variety, changing what I'm doing a little bit. Interset variety is completely fine and actually beneficial. Next, we've got my first actual warm-up set, which is with 50 kilos. You'll find my legs are much stronger than my upper body, so bench definitely is not my best lift, but I am working on it. And again, my big focus here is a slow, controlled eccentric into a very strong, powerful concentric. And you can see I am working on that arch. I don't have a crazy arch, but I do have a little bit. You can't see my feet, but I play with either toes up or heels down. So it's up to you, play around, try and find which one gives you the most leg drive, because that's going to be the most important factor. there's 2 points of stability, which is your feet and your scapula or your shoulder blades. So you want both of those things to be pretty locked in. So you should feel this in your legs and your back. It is a global exercise when performed in a powerlifter style. And again, you can see we've got nice control, a little bit of a pause, and then driving up. This set's with 60 kilos. The next set is going to be with 65 kilos. And again, you're going to notice, nice, slow, nice and controlled. So my goal is use your small plates, especially on things like bench. Just try and add 1.25 kilos on the bar each week. Eventually you will get to a point where you're not going to be able to complete the same amount of reps. So I'm just doing a standard 4x4 protocol. So eventually it will get to a point where I'm putting that 1.25 on and I can no longer get the 4 reps. That's the point where, rather than continually increasing the weight, I'll find that point where I can't get 4 reps and I'll just go for 3 or 2, and then I'll just push out until I can get 4, and then I put on another 1.25. So you can see I've got 67.5. And again, you're gonna notice slow, controlled, and the intent is for me to drive the weight up as hard as I can. So keep that in mind. Intent matters. Intent builds power because we are trying to lift the weight as hard as we can. Obviously, as the weight gets heavier, you can see I'm not moving it incredibly fast, but I've still got that intent to move it fast, which still builds explosive power and strength very differently to just lifting the weight. And this last set is with 70, and again, so you're gonna notice I'm not dropping the weight onto my chest. So many people just drop the weight and then bounce it up. Control the weight, actually milk that eccentric. It's good for muscle, it's good for your tendon. Obviously, depending on what you're doing, then you can start to muck around with faster, so, power exercises. But again, you're going to be lighter. The bent, maybe you're only mucking around with 30 to 40% of what your 1 rep max is. And in that case, then yeah, go ahead and, drop it down quickly, push it fast. But for what I'm training at the moment, not what I'm looking for. So the next thing, I'm doing chin-ups. So the first set, I did these ring L-sit chin-ups. So you're getting hip flexor work, we're getting some direct core work, and obviously we're getting some bicep and lat work. I did about 7 reps here. These are super tough. I do like to muck around with a lot of gymnastic movements as well. The rings have been absolutely amazing for that. Now, in total, I did 3 sets here. I didn't film the middle set, so the second set, but I did film the third set. So my chin-up bar, as you'll be able to see, has a lot of different grips, and at the moment I'm using a semi-supinated grip for my chin-ups. Now, the weight vest weighs around 10 kilos. It does get up to 20, so I'm using about half of what it would be, and I'm only cranking out about 4 or 5 reps. So it is, again, more strength orientated. You can load your chin-ups. You don't have to do high rep chin-ups, you can do low rep. Next thing is these plate slides for my core. So main goal here is trunk stability. So you can see I'm not trying to rotate or flex at the trunk or your core. And then I did this for about 30 seconds. The final set that I did here was just a set of ab mat sit-ups. I just had a bit of extra time, a bit of extra energy. You don't have to just follow your plan. If you do have the time and the energy, feel free to go and do something else, like a set of curls or something. So you can see there's the ab mat. If you can, I'd recommend getting them because you can just have it at home and just crank out sit-ups. Weight plate, I've got it behind my head because it is slightly harder that way. If you have it over your chest, it's a little bit easier. And again, I go to complete failure here, as you'll see. So when it comes to building muscle, train to failure, or at least as close as you can to it. Hope you guys enjoyed my second vlog. If you want more content like this, feel free to subscribe or find myself on Instagram at IME-training, and I hope you guys have a good day.
Oh.